This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana.
I informed them of my situation, and they informed me that I wouldn't go through that.
A mother with health issues reaches out to RTV6. The problem with her townhome and why she will be allowed to break the lease.
Homeowners fighting to save their riverfront homes could be thrown a lifeline.
We have a chance now, or we did before.
The bill moving through the state house that could prevent their eviction.
Americans were told this week to prepare for the coronavirus to spread on U.S. soil. This morning, we're looking at ways you can protect yourself and your family.
And February is American Heart Month. This morning, one woman's scary health situation and the symptoms she wants you to look out for.
And it is 6 o'clock here on our Thursday, February 27th. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Indiana.
All okay on the roads this morning. I felt really good about, going outside, putting on a jacket maybe, I don't know.
Unfortunately, that's not the case everywhere, though. A lot of our counties and north of us, schools are on a 2-hour delay because the roads are a little icy out there, Todd. All that snow we had yesterday, freezing in a lot of places because temps overnight dipped so low.
Yeah, and it depends exactly where you are. To the south where Raphael lives of the city, not much in the way of snow. For those of you to the north, Lafayette, Kokomo, you saw 3 to 4 inches of snow, and that's where we find a lot of those school delays this morning. But no matter what you saw yesterday, whether it was rain or snow, as Meredith mentioned, temperatures now are well below freezing. We're in the 20s this morning, and that could lead to some slippery conditions on untreated roadways. The highways were in great shape. The main roads were this morning as well on my commute into work. But watch out for your sidewalk, your driveway, and some of those back roads across some counties here. It's cold and cloudy throughout the morning hours here. You'll see a few flurries this morning as well, but they won't amount to anything, so you really don't have to worry about those. And then off to our west, there's a little clearing that's starting to take place. We're hopeful for that as we get into the afternoon hours today. So we'll kind of toggle back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies today. 30 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. We won't warm much more from there. We'll talk about the rest of your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thank you. We want to take a look at traffic this morning. This is over on the west side, I-465 and West 21st Street. No delays to slow you down there, so that is great news. Let's take a look at our drive times, planning out your commute along eastbound I-70 from Ronald Reagan Parkway to I-65 at the South Split. It is a 12-minute commute, so there are no problems. We do want you to know that we have nearly 80 school districts that are either closed or delayed this morning, mostly in areas to our north. You can check to see if your school district is on that list by downloading the RTV6 mobile app or the Storm Shield app. Both are free for you to download. Up-to-date closings are also scrolling at the bottom of your screen, so check those before you send the kids out to the bus stop.
The time is 6:03, and we are working for you this morning. An Indianapolis mom with health issues reaching out to RTV6 for help. I made some calls to figure out what was happening in this case and what could be done to resolve the situation. You see, Sandri Bindum has lived at the Bradford Lakes Apartments for the past 5 months. Bindum has several health issues, including asthma, and she falls. She says her complex has done very little to fix maintenance issues with her apartment, which is making it difficult on her health. Under regular circumstances, Bindum would have to call the Marion County Health Department to inspect her home and allow the complex about 30 days to make repairs.
I shouldn't have to live like this. Shouldn't nobody have to live like this?
Nobody indeed. Luckily, she's part of the Section 8 program, which is funded through taxpayers to provide rent assistance. Indianapolis Housing Agency inspectors, they failed her townhome twice, which means she can now move out without any penalties. I did reach out to the agency's executive director, who sent me this statement this morning. It says, in part, both program participant and landlord have obligations in maintaining the subsidized unit in accordance with housing quality standards. Each party is allowed due process in times of noncompliance with programmatic requirements. In the end, Sandra is now set to meet with housing officials tomorrow to discuss her ability to move out to a different location. Meredith?
Ordinance aimed at helping protect tenants in Indianapolis are now in effect, but that help may only last a few months. We told you about the proposals Monday after the City County Council passed them. They would devote $250,000 for legal aid for renters, make make sure landlords disclose tenant rights and create rules against retaliation by landlords. But a bill making its way through the State House would put a stop to those last two requirements.
As leaders in local government, we have a moral duty to ensure that Marion County citizens not only have the requisite information about their legal rights, but the tools and the freedom to exercise those rights without the fear of retaliation or legal penalty.
If the State House bill becomes law, it would take effect on July 1st. Recent studies have shown Indy is second in the country in evictions, behind New York City.
It is 6:05. A bill potentially saving homes along the White River is one step closer to the governor's desk. We first told you about this situation after homeowners reached out to RTV6 for help. The Department of Natural Resources says that some homes must be torn down because they're in a floodway. Changes to Senate Bill 433 would save these homes, but homeowners would need to elevate them.
I really hope that we are able to save her home and the other homeowners that are here with us today, and that even those who weren't able to come today, I think everyone is encouraged and hopeful.
That bill now heads to the House for a vote, which could happen in just a few hours. We'll keep you updated.
The time now is 6:06. An Indiana grandfather charged in the cruise ship death of his 18-month-old granddaughter is speaking out after agreeing to a plea deal. In a statement, Salvatore Anello says he wants to, quote, help end part of this nightmare. Anello was charged with negligent homicide and has filed documents to change his plea to guilty. Court documents say he was leaning out of an 11th floor window on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship when he picked up his granddaughter Chloe and she slipped from his grip. The family's lawyer says Anello will not spend any jail time under that plea. That plea deal, though, has not yet been approved.
We'll have to wait a little longer to learn if a proposed casino in Terre Haute will get the green light. The Indiana Gaming Commission says it doesn't anticipate making a decision at its March 26th meeting. Officials say they're still investigating Spectacle Entertainment. That's a company trying to build the casino. A federal court case involving some Spectacle leaders sparked the investigation. The Gaming Commission says they'll make a decision once the investigation has ended.
At 6:07, Purdue University suspending university-sponsored trips to additional countries due to the coronavirus. Travel to South Korea, Iran, Italy, and Japan have been put on hold after the countries were listed as a risk by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. Now, earlier this month, Purdue suspended travel to China due to the virus. Other schools like Butler, IU, and Ball State have also suspended travel. Right now, there are no reported cases of coronavirus in our state. The state health department is scheduled to give an update on its preparations for a possible outbreak later this afternoon.
At 6:08 all month long, we've been sharing stories of survival as part of the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women campaign. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in women here in the United States. This morning, our Alyssa Donovan has a story from one woman who advocated for herself when she knew that something just was not right. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. So for a woman between the ages of 35 and 45, the average resting heart rate is about 60 to 100 beats per minute. So when Jennifer Pace's husband brought her to the ER and she read on the monitor that her heart rate was 210 beats per minute, she knew that this was something serious. But it wasn't the first time that Jennifer experienced these symptoms. It was just the most intense. Now, this was like a flutter in her chest. And now, as a mother and wife, she wanted to make sure that she would be there for her family in the future. For years, Jennifer was told her symptoms were nothing. As she got older, the episodes lasted longer, sometimes hours. After multiple trips to the emergency room, trying several medications and visiting many cardiologists, she found her diagnosis. Pace had atrial fibrillation, or AFib, an irregular heartbeat condition that can lead to blood clots, stroke, and heart failure. The advice she has for others: continue to fight for answers.
Advocate for yourself. Find somebody who will listen to you, because you're the one that lives in your body and you know what's right and what's not.
Pace's doctor performed an AFib ablation, a procedure used to slow down the symptoms. And AFib is not considered curable. However, at 44 years old, Pace says she finally has some relief from these symptoms she's experienced since she was a young girl. Now, her episodes are down to just every few months and only about 30 seconds each. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
The Hoosier State has high-quality health care, and they're looking for new employees. New at 6:14 in Hiring Hoosiers, or Mark Mullins shows why you don't have to be a doctor or nurse to apply.
And a few snow showers are making their way through central Indiana this morning. They will not cause any issues on the roadways. That's the good news. However, you do need to bundle up as it's a cold start. Everybody right now sitting in the 20s.
Plus, we're cutting down the days until Daredevil Nick Walenda's next live challenge, wire walking over Nicaragua's Masaya volcano. There it is. He's live on Good Morning America today at 7, revealing why this is his scariest feat yet. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday morning.
Floors to your home, that too.
Hiring Hoosiers is opening doors and guiding you to the places in our area actively searching for new employees.
So, you know, we've told you about the demand for doctors and nurses here in the state of Indiana, right? But now there's a push to hire more people to recruit healthcare workers.
The demand is big. RTV6's Mark Mullins shows you what it takes to find the best talent to treat Hoosiers at Indianapolis area hospitals.
These positions at IU Health are all about staffing the hospitals and clinics, recruiting and screening prospective candidates for all levels of personnel at IU Health, from entry level to skilled nurses, physicians, and even executives.
I really was looking to grow in my nursing career.
Nikki Beeman came to IU Health as a nurse and thought she'd spend her career caring for patients bedside. But she has learned there are other ways she can use her expertise as a nurse to care for patients.
Even though I'm not in direct patient care, I still get to really bring in that nursing talent that does touch our patients and that do make a difference in our organization. And so that's very important to me.
Nikki has spent the last 3 years helping to fill that gap when it comes to the nursing shortage in our area. She's a senior acquisition talent consultant, part of a team of 50 at IU Health, tasked with interviewing candidates, reviewing applications, and providing input and information to hiring managers. Going out and actively recruiting is part of the job, too. The talent acquisition consultants use a number of avenues to get the word out to prospective candidates around the state.
Nursing schools all around the state is a lot of our focus. We also do target experienced nurses on platforms like LinkedIn and Indeed because we do value experience as well.
The talent acquisition team could use some extra new hires too, since at any given time there are roughly 2,000 openings at IU Health.
First and foremost, it needs to be someone who loves people because so much of the job is really interacting with candidates, with their peers, and with the hiring leaders that we support.
Tanya Hahn heads up the team in charge of finding talent. She needs people who can be organized, comfortable with a fast pace, and able to juggle a full plate of assignments.
We really see people on our team coming from a diverse range of backgrounds. We have people from the hospitality industry. We have people who actually started out in a healthcare clinical role and decided to make a move into, this back office function, if you will.
A chance to be part of a team that is giving hospital new hires a chance to excel in patient care.
It's different every day. That's what I really love about my job.
Working for you, Mark Mullins, RTV6.
So let's connect you. These open positions on the talent acquisition team may be ideal for people looking to make a career switch. For qualifications and salary information, we provided a link to these job openings under this story on our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
The Indiana Department of Transportation is hiring Hoosiers to work the night shift. You can learn more about available positions at a hiring fair happening later today. It runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the INDOT location on South Brookville Road. Last year, the state passed a budget increase for the department, paving the way for a second shift of employees. And that story fails to mention that if you get a job on that night shift, then you can come home and watch us.
There you go.
Another big perk.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's so funny.
Always looking on the positive. Always, trying to maybe if someone were like
bad
second
shift,
guessing whether or not they should go, you know, just trying to give them an added benefit.
Unwind after work. And,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right, outside right now, you look at Storm Team 6 radar and the satellite picture, and you think, oh no, here we go again. It's kind of what it looked like yesterday. Of course, yesterday, the precipitation was a little more widespread and intense. This is just a few flurries making their way through the area this morning. This will not cause any additional issues on the roadway. So yes, you may see a flurry or two, but it's nothing more than that. Back off to our west, here's some clearing. That's what we're hopeful for a little later this afternoon. And I don't think we'll ever get rid of the clouds completely throughout the day today, but I do think the skies will start to brighten. You may see a little bit of sunshine here and there across the area. Now, TrueCast is painting the picture of a lot of sunshine. I just don't think that's going to happen throughout the day today where we completely get rid of the clouds, but it's just one of those days that's very typical for the end of February. We're a little bit below normal temperature-wise. You have to bundle up, but there's no real weather-related issues today except for what's already on the ground. That obviously you have to be a little cautious about, and that's some icy spots on untreated surfaces, whether it's your driveway, your sidewalk, or the roads in your neighborhoods. All the main roads seem to be in pretty good shape, as Lauren's been telling you all morning long. Here's the view from IMS looking back towards downtown Indianapolis, and it's always a good sign when you can see our great city skyline. That means you have no visibility issues. Yesterday, we could not see the skyline because of the snow that was falling. So even though there's a few flurries out there, visibilities are okay. 25 in Indy, 27 is the current temperature right now in Bloomington. Throughout the day today, temperatures will eventually warm up to right around 33 to 34 degrees throughout the afternoon hours as we toggle back and forth between partly and mostly cloudy skies. Now, tomorrow morning, it is cold, especially in northern locations where you saw 3 to 4 inches of snow yesterday. Lafayette up towards the Peru area over to Muncie. Temperatures are in the teens tomorrow morning. 20 in Indianapolis, 24 from Bloomington over into portions of the Columbus area. And then throughout the day tomorrow, it's still well below normal. We should be in the mid-40s for afternoon highs. We're only in the low 30s tomorrow. And tomorrow, there's a few more snow showers that'll be coming through during the afternoon hours. And these may be a little more potent. What I mean by that is they're going to be a little more intense. So I think the biggest issue would be visibility is reduced on the roadways, maybe a quick dusting, but nothing more than that. And then we get to the weekend, and look at this, 38, sunshine Saturday, all the snow that is out there will melt. 56 on Sunday. The clouds increase throughout the day on Sunday, but it's still a nice day. And then we're close to 60 degrees for Monday and Tuesday. The trade-off, though, for that will be some rain showers that will be around. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. No issues here in Fishers. This is a live look at I-69 near 106th Street. Traffic's moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound on the interstate.
Habitat for Humanity is kicking off its 2020 Women Build project in the Indianapolis area. On Wednesday, the organization held an event downtown to raise awareness about this year's program. This year, a group of all-women volunteers will build 2 homes in 12 weeks. They will be built side by side on the near north side of the city. The soon-to-be homeowners attended the event.
Even better because the women are building. I couldn't be more happier. I was like, yes, women. We gonna tell you how to do it.
The organization hopes to raise $200,000 in contributions this year.
I love it. She has a lot of energy. Happening today at 6:20, a number of developing stories. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, she's scheduled to appear before a congressional committee to answer questions about the Trump administration's 2021 budget proposal. According to the Washington Post, the proposed education budget calls for the effective elimination of the federal charter schools program. It would instead be lumped in with other education department programs. Also today, a federal judge will set a trial day for actress Lori Loughlin and her fashion designer husband Massimo Giannulli. They face conspiracy and mail fraud charges as part of that college admissions bribery scandal. Yesterday, lawyers for the couple said new evidence shows that they are innocent.
Horses becoming a frequent sight at a Florida McDonald's. New at 6:25, the really good reason behind this odd appearance. Plus the answer to the question we know you're all asking, what do they get in their Happy Meals?
Oh, Florida, the gift that keeps on giving. February is American Heart Month, and each morning we're giving you tips to guide you to a healthier lifestyle. Here's one. Swap out pretzels and chips for 3/4 cup of whole grain cereal for healthy snacking. These tips are part of the Go Red for Women campaign sponsored by the American Heart Association. And here's a live look from the IMS Pagoda, where in about an hour we'll see the sunrise over the skyline. But before you start your day, be sure to check out the latest school delays and cancellations at the bottom of your screen. The time right now is 6:21. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
A.m. to 9 p.m. at Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back. It's time to chat about what is trending at 6. And I don't know if it's trending, but I'm hungry. How about you guys? For some breakfast?
At this shift, I want to eat all the time.
I know.
But,
so, Dunkin', they're here to help you out, Raphael. They're going for a mix of sweet and savory with the new product. The item is called Snack and Bacon. It's on the menu.
Okay.
It's a bag of 8 half slices of bacon, so I guess 4 slices, with sweet black pepper seasoning. Dunkin' says it's for customers on the go who are craving a different kind of snacking choice.
Sold.
I
I'll
think
take
that looks
2
good.
orders.
You don't like bacon.
You can have
that much.
mine.
Yeah, maybe not a bacon girl.
Oh, we're not horsing around with this next story. Your eyes aren't failing you. It is a horse waiting in the drive-thru at a Florida McDonald's. The horses are working with a nonprofit that deal with children with trauma. The horse's owner says getting them comfortable around people in different environments is the last part of their training. So in case you were wondering what a horse wants in a Happy Meal, it's a bag of apples and an Oreo McFlurry, of course.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
That's an oath countless of soldiers have taken before, but none quite like this. The person administering that oath wasn't in the room with them. You see, Army Colonel Andrew Morgan is floating 250 miles above the earth. More than 1,000 recruits in 150 locations across the country, including in Noblesville, took part in that ceremony. Recruits were also able to ask Colonel Morgan questions about his time in space. What an amazing,
that is really
cool thing to do.
Super. All right, well, we got to talk about the forecast today. Folks are, posting pictures of the snow. It was really beautiful. Todd, you told us it was going to stick to those trees, and it did.
It was scenic, definitely out there. It was a winter wonderland, especially in some of the back roads where the canopy of trees. It was just so pretty yesterday. And the roads never really got all that bad because we never got into any intense snow. So that was good news. But now that the temperatures are below freezing, there definitely could be a few slick spots out there. So be aware of that. And what you see on radar in the center of your screen there, that's just a few flurries. Not going to cause many issues whatsoever, but boy, bundle up. Those temperatures are in the 20s, only up to 32 degrees here later on this afternoon with a flurry or two from time to time. And when you factor in the wind, which will unfortunately kind of kick up throughout the day as well, that's going to make 32 feel more like the mid-20s.
Tom, thank you. The growing number of coronavirus cases have made headlines every day this week.
Working for you, our John Matteries is looking at ways you can prepare instead of panic.
The CDC spooked stock markets this week when it said Americans should prepare for the coronavirus. But what exactly does that mean? There are all sorts of different levels of preparation. Well, the Washington Post spoke with epidemiologists to see what we should do and not do with the likelihood of coronavirus coming to our shores. The most important thing, they say, not panicking. They point out this is not deadly Ebola. Instead, the experts, like the CDC, suggest you wash your hands with soap after using the restroom and before eating. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wipe down surfaces that you touch often. And you should always have some disinfectant wipes and Tylenol on hand. Now, with face masks in short supply, the experts ask you to not hoard them. A mask keeps a sick person from spreading germs, but does not do much protecting you. Finally, watch what you read. The report calls coronavirus an infodemic with lots of misinformation on Facebook and Twitter. So don't fall victim to hoaxes and don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
John, thanks. For more cost-saving tips and ideas, visit the money section of our website, theindychannel.com.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. The State Department of Health will talk to reporters today about their efforts to protect you from COVID-19. That's the illness caused by the coronavirus. Right now, there are no confirmed cases of the virus in our state, but the state says it's created an advisory committee and is monitoring travelers in coordination with local health departments.
Greenfield police are investigating a crash that damaged a nail salon. It happened at VIP Nail on East New Road. That would happen around noon on Wednesday. Greenfield police posted this photo of the crash. You can see the vehicle here broke most of the glass in the entryway and came to a stop inside the store. One person suffered a minor injury.
Fines for stores caught selling smoking or vaping products to anyone younger than 21 could be doubled. State, Senate, and House negotiators will have to agree on a bill that would increase the maximum fine against a retailer for a first violation from $200 to $400. Supporters say this will help reduce Indiana's high smoking rates by making it harder for young people to get tobacco products.
This morning, we're getting a more look at more of our feathery victims impacted by the fuel spill caused by last week's tanker crash and explosion. Indianapolis Animal Care Services posted pictures on Facebook of ducks covered in fuel you see right there. They were found in a creek near I-465's ramp to I-70. Unfortunately, one of the ducks died. But Animal Care says it's been able to find wildlife rehabbers to care for the rest of the ducks.
With two major events coming to Indianapolis next month, police are aiming to keep people safe. This is why officers are going to be out on the roads beginning Sunday looking for more drunk drivers. The increased patrols will be part of a month-long Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. Law enforcement agencies say St. Patrick's Day and the NCAA tournament are two of the heaviest drinking events of the year.
Local police departments hoping to get a bit of a break today after yesterday's snowfall. I know many of them were out busy helping folks who maybe had slid off roadways, things like that. And some roads out there are still icy. Because of that, we do have a number of school delays and cancellations scrolling at the bottom of your screen. The good news, though, Todd, any more snow we might see today is just going to be a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a flurry or two. That's just about it. So no additional issues weather-wise, except for what's on the ground that Meredith mentioned. But just don't be shocked as your commute may take you across some miles here across central Indiana. And just know things will differ a little bit from north to south, where we saw more snow in northern locations on the ground compared to hardly any snow at all as you work your way south of Indianapolis. So for your morning commute, temperatures will be in the mid-20s here. Lots of clouds. And again, a few flurries from time to time will be making their way through the area. It looks worse on radar than it really actually is. And again, as we mentioned, that's not going to cause any issues out there on the roadways. There's some clearing taking place in Illinois. Hopeful for some of that here in central Indiana throughout the afternoon hours as we hopefully can get the skies starting to brighten just a little bit. But this morning, we'll be locked in with the clouds and those flurries. Temperatures go from where they are right now to about 27 degrees by 9 a.m., 30 degrees by the noon hour. When you factor in the wind, though, which unfortunately will pick up throughout the day today. The temperatures you see here are going to feel more like the mid to low 20s throughout the morning hours. Lauren.
Todd, thanks for keeping a close eye on traffic this morning and planning out your commute if you're driving on the west side, starting here in Brownsburg at State Road 267, heading to the I-465 ramps. That's a quick 7-minute drive, no delays to slow you down. So let's take you over to the other side of town, east side, I-70 here at Post Road. Traffic is picking up, as you can see by all the cars moving across your screen. No crashes or delays to report right now around the metro area.
Concerns about coronavirus and the illness it causes, known as COVID-19, continues to spread. We told you earlier we expect to hear from the state health department later today, but federal health officials are already warning Americans to be prepared.
The president delivered two messages on Wednesday. First, he sent a tweet blaming the news media for spreading fear about the virus and causing the stock market prices on Wall Street to fall. And then a few hours later, the president pivoted and put a familiar face to Hoosiers in charge of the crisis. ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports.
As clusters of coronavirus continue to spread around the globe, here at home, the United States is wrestling with how to prepare for an outbreak on American soil.
And the number one priority from our standpoint is the health and safety of the American people.
And now the Centers for Disease Control confirming a patient in California contracted coronavirus with no known travel or exposure to another infected patient, believed to be the first such case in the U.S. The president, alongside his top health advisors, trying to reassure the country, but downplaying the danger Wednesday. He tapped Vice President Mike Pence to lead the U.S. response to the virus while asking Congress for at least $2.5 billion to stop the spread.
We've been working with the Hill very, very carefully, very strongly, and I think we have very good bipartisan spirit for money.
Democrats and even some Republicans say it's not enough.
And what he's doing is late,
too late, anemic. Hopefully we can make up for the loss of time.
Airports around the world are doing all they can to prevent and prepare. At LAX, crews disinfecting surfaces after a Korean Airlines flight attendant who worked on flights at the airport tested positive for the virus. In Korea, a U.S. soldier has come down with COVID-19, the military ordering additional screenings of all service members. And in Italy, coronavirus cases surging. While back in the U.S., health experts say not to expect a vaccine anytime soon.
We can't rely on a vaccine over the next several months to a year.
With that latest patient in California testing positive for the coronavirus, that brings the total number of cases here in the U.S. to 60. Andrew Timbert, ABC News, Washington.
The vice president's appointment to lead the coronavirus response is sparking some criticism, and it's because of his response to a health crisis while he was governor of Indiana. In January of 2015, an HIV outbreak tied to drug use overwhelmed several Indiana counties, beginning in Scott County in southern Indiana. Pence was asked to get behind legislation to create an emergency needle exchange program to stem the outbreak, but he refused to do so until March of 2015 when he signed an executive order for a 30-day program limited to Scott County. That program was eventually extended when Dr. Jerome Adams, the state's then health commissioner, declared a public health emergency. Pence later changed his mind about needle exchange programs and signed a law allowing each Indiana county to create one if they had an emergency.
It is 6:35. Mayor Joe Hogg said signed 2 proposals that aim to protect tenants here in Indianapolis, but that help may only last a few months. Indianapolis ranks second in the country in evictions behind only New York City. The 2 proposals passed by the City County Council this week would devote money dollars to legal aid for renters and make sure that landlords disclose tenants' rights and create rules against retaliation by landlords. But a bill making its way through the State House would put a stop to those last 2 measures. No one has taken credit for the last-minute amendment in the legislature, but Republican lawmakers have all voted in favor of this so far.
As leaders in local government, we have a moral duty to ensure that Marion County citizens not only have the requisite information about their legal rights, but the tools and the freedom to exercise those rights without the fear of retaliation or legal penalty.
If the State House bill becomes law, it will take effect July 1st.
The time now is 6:36. This morning, we are working for you. A mother here in Indianapolis of 2 little girls concerned about her living conditions. So she reached out to RTV6 after she felt a government agency was not listening to her concerns. You see, Sandri Bindum has inspection reports to back up those concerns. As you'll see in a few moments, as you can see there, housing inspectors, they found multiple failures with her townhome at the Bradford Lakes apartments. Bindum has several health issues, including asthma. She says her complex was not doing enough to fix her maintenance issues that made it difficult on her health.
It was messing with my health issues, things that they told me that they promised me that I will be okay here. I will be safe.
So I made several calls on this one. Since Indianapolis' housing agency inspectors failed her townhomes twice, she can now move out of that place without any penalties. The apartment complex can appeal the decision. Sandri is meeting with housing officials tomorrow to discuss moving somewhere else.
Our Go Red for Women coverage comes to a close this morning. Up next, our Alyssa Donovan has the story of how one woman's persistence after a health scare led her to live a happier and healthier life, and the message she has for other women. We'll be right back.
Now at MartinAcura.com.
Well, it started as just a flutter in her chest, maybe just a few seconds at first, but when the symptoms started to last longer and longer, Jennifer Pace knew something wasn't right. And today, thanks to her own persistence, she's living a healthier and happier life.
All month long, we've been sharing stories of survival as part of the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women campaign to bring awareness to heart disease in women. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning with Jennifer's story. Hey, Alyssa.
Good morning, you guys. So Jennifer has been experiencing these flutter-like symptoms since she was a very young girl, but it wasn't until she got older that those symptoms became a little bit worse, lasting for hours at times. So after multiple hospital visits and several visits with specialists, she finally learned she has a dangerous heart condition.
Jennifer Pace's home is kind of like a scrapbook.
My grandmother made the little purple doll.
Mementos from friends and family.
Mom's dish set.
Special keepsakes and photographs like this one of her and her husband.
When we were 17, we were senior prom dates and then went our separate ways for about 17 years.
10 years ago, the two reunited and were married.
So there we are when we got married.
Their family's journey displayed in statues on their windowsill.
It depicts our life, and every stage of life we get another one.
Reminders of where they've been and what they've overcome.
And then there's my heart for being a survivor.
Pace was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, or AFib, in 2012. Her grandfather also had the irregular heart condition, which can lead to blood clots, stroke, or even heart failure. Her symptoms started when she was very young.
Like the flapping of a wing, you know, like your heart flopping around in your chest.
As she got older, the episodes lasted longer, leaving her exhausted, unable to keep up with her kids, and eventually landing her in the ER.
My heart was 210 beats a minute.
A normal heartbeat is between 60 and 100. Pace underwent an AFib ablation, a procedure used to slow down the symptoms. The 44-year-old now rarely has episodes, the whole family supporting her health, adapting to more activity and a healthier lifestyle. While their home is already filled with memories, Pace knows that with her newfound knowledge of her diagnosis and a family focus on health, they'll be adding many more stages of life to their windowsill.
We're hoping to get to this stage in the future. And he bought me this necklace.
And heart disease does run in Pace's family. Her grandfather also had that heart condition called AFib. She says her young daughter has also started to experience some of those flutter-like chest symptoms, so they're keeping an eye on her. And it's all the more reason that the entire family is sticking to a heart-healthy lifestyle. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
He's a familiar voice every morning on WTLC, our partner at Radio 1. Coming up, he makes a visit to Indy and brings a message for the next generation.
It's that time again. The Boilermakers and the Hoosiers get together to tangle tonight. It's the time of the year, and there's a lot more at stake than just those bragging rights. Todd.
And if you're heading to Mackey Arena this evening, you shouldn't have any issues getting there. It'll be cold, and it's cold this morning as you walk out the door this morning as well. Temperatures are in the mid-20s. There's a few flurries out there, but they're not going to cause any issues on the roadways, which is good news. We'll talk more about your extended forecast, which features a warm-up I think you're going to like. It's all coming up in just a few minutes as Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 6:43.
Flooring, floors to your home. That's who.
It is 6:46, and we're keeping a close eye on those roads this morning. Here's a look on the east side, I-70 at Sherman Drive. Traffic's moving along, as you can see, up to speed both eastbound and westbound. No problems around the metro area, but we do have school delays in areas to our north. Check the RTV6 app for the full list.
You can hear him on the radio from coast to coast. Ricky Smiley's radio show is heard every morning on our radio partner, Radio 1, 106.7 WTLC, and he was live in person in the Circle City. Smiley was the keynote speaker as part of the distinguished Stewart Speaker Series at the Madam Walker Legacy Center. The series connects the community with national leaders. On his radio show, Smiley's very open about his personal successes and setbacks. He took time to share his thoughts on following your path to success.
Learning how to open your mouth, have confidence, speak up, mix with a little bit of etiquette, whatever. You know, you can work your way, to anywhere you want to go. You know, you just have to believe in yourself, and you have to make good decisions.
RTV6 is a proud partner of the Stewart Speaker Series. They are a friend there, Mark Mullins, who should be sleeping right now. He emceed last night's event. The Speaker Series will host Susan Rice on Monday. As you may recall, she served as President Obama's National Security Advisor after serving as ambassador to the United Nations.
It is 6:47. A big game in West Lafayette set for tonight. The Boilermakers taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. Purdue has lost 4 straight since beating the Hoosiers back on February 8th. Purdue now desperately needs a win if it wants to have the hope of making the NCAA tournament. IU is in better shape for the postseason with wins over 2 ranked teams since that Purdue loss. Tip-off for tonight's game is set for 7 o'clock. And as folks are maybe making their plans heading up to Lafayette today, they're not going to have too many problems on the roads. All that trouble was yesterday, luckily.
No, but some schools in that area are on a 2-hour delay because of the more rural setting that they have up there. There might be some slick spots still on the roads, Todd.
Yeah, you know, temperatures are below freezing anywhere you go this morning across central Indiana. So whatever moisture was out there obviously froze. Treated roadways, pretty good shape, as Lauren's been telling you this morning, but watch out for some of those side roads. And of course, the first few steps out on your sidewalk and your front steps out here this morning, especially if you didn't salt them or clean off the snow from yesterday. Just a few flurries in the forecast for the day today. It's cold with some winds really starting to kick up as the day goes on. And there's those icy spots we just talked about. So this is what's left of our snow on Storm Team 6 radar. And this looks worse than it is. This is tapering off to just a few flurries, and that too should be coming to an end shortly here this morning. So no additional issues expected as far as the snow goes across the area. Just that flurry or two and clearing off to our west. That'll start to work its way in here as the day progresses. But it is cold this morning. You have to bundle up. 20 right now in Richmond, 25 in Indy, 26 in Greencastle. Feels like it's in the teens, though, when you factor in the winds. So as you head out to walk your favorite four-legged friend this morning, you really have to bundle up. This is Sydney smiling in the sunshine on a warmer day with her little bow in her hair. Thanks to Tracy Johnson for sending Sydney in. You can send your pictures to my Facebook page, Todd Clausen, RTV6. Make sure you include your dog's name and location so we can let you know where they're from. Green pause here throughout the day today. It's cold, but no big issues in the forecast going forward, as eventually we'll see our high temperature climb up to right around 34 degrees. Now, overnight tonight, with clearing skies, temperatures do get very, very cold. We're in the teens in northern locations to start your Friday, and that's because there's more snow on the ground. Where there's not as much snow on the ground, temperatures a little bit warmer. 24 in Bloomington as well as Columbus, 20 the overnight low in Indianapolis. Tomorrow up to 33. It's another cold day for us with partly cloudy skies, and there will be a few snow showers tomorrow afternoon that'll make their way through the area. They're going to be very, very spotty, but they'll also be fairly potent in spots. And what I mean by being potent, they could be pretty intense. So visibility would probably be the biggest issue as these snow showers move through. Accumulation-wise, you're talking about a coating, and that is just about it. And then they'll diminish throughout the evening hours, setting us up for a pretty nice weekend. Saturday, 38 with sunshine, 56 degrees as you head into the day on Sunday with increasing clouds, but it should be dry. Monday, near 60. Tuesday, we're in the mid-50s still, and still in the 50s on Wednesday. But unfortunately, as that mild air comes in, we'll also have rain showers that'll be in the forecast, but it's all rain with low temperatures still staying in the mid-40s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning as you're heading out the door. No major issues on the south side. Let's take a look at your drive. It's a 12-minute commute right now from Greenwood, Stones Crossing Road, up State Road 37 to the I-465 ramps. It's the Harding Street exit. No problems there. And then across the county as you're hopping on I-65, let's start you off here at the Southport Road exit. As you're heading up the northbound interstate to I-70 at the North Split, it's a quick 10-minute drive. Let's take you over to the west side right now, I-465 and Sam Jones Expressway. You can see lots of headlights moving across your screen. Traffic is picking up and traveling up to speed.
Coming up on GMA, an inspiring story of a soon-to-be Morehouse graduate. You see, just 8 years ago, DeSavian Reeves was homeless and living in a shelter with his family when he made a promise to get himself into college where, guess what? He thrived. He's live in Times Square this morning and coming up on Good Morning America to reveal his amazing next step. His story right here on RTV6 at 7 a.m.
But first, Throwback Thursday is next. This year, of course, is a leap year. Coming up, we catch up with a leap baby we profiled decades ago, and we try to answer an important birthday question. We'll be right back.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
It is 6:54 on your Thursday. Here's a live look at traffic to our northeast. Really picking up here at I-465 and I-69. No crashes or delays in that area to slow down your commute.
For Throwback Thursday today, we look at a day that only comes once every 4 years. And of course, we have one coming up this Saturday.
So of course, Saturday, February the 29th is Leap Day, right? It's a day that we use every 4 years to account for the time it takes for the Earth to travel around the sun.
So what if you were born on Leap Day? When do you celebrate your birthday on those non-leap years? Do you only celebrate every 4 years? Well, 20 years ago, Stephanie and Richard Levi welcomed their daughter, Kiera, into the world on Leap Day at Methodist Hospital. They were one of at least a dozen couples in central Indiana who had a baby on February 29th that year. They told former Channel 6 reporter Ray Cortopassi that they weren't sure yet how they were going to tell little Kiera that her actual birthday would only come around every so often.
Try explaining it to her, but we don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of different. It's kind of strange having a baby born on leap year.
Neither Richard nor Stephanie are sure if they'll celebrate their daughter's birthday February 28th or March 1st.
Well, we were curious as to what happened to Kiera, so hey, we found her. There she is. She's going to turn 20 years old on Saturday. She tells us that on non-leap years, well, she celebrates her birthday on both February 28th and March 1st. That is my kind of girl.
Awesome. Happy early birthday to you, Kiera.
I like your style.
Amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes you can have a birthday week, a birthday month.
I hope she gets gifts both on the 28th and the 1st because it's so special, right? I mean, why not? Celebrate, enjoy it.
And then when you actually have the 29th of February, then you have a big old party every 4 years.
And you've got a pretty good gift for her this coming weekend. The weather improves.
Yeah, we'll go from the 30s to the 50s over the course of the 29th into the 1st of March. So outside right now, though, it is cold. We have a few flurries, while partly to mostly cloudy skies here throughout the day today. Temperatures only up to right around 34 degrees. Your 7-day planning forecast shows that warm-up we just mentioned. Not so much tomorrow when we actually could have a few snow showers, but Saturday near 40, near 60 with increasing clouds on Sunday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us. We're back right here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America.
All your news throughout the day is always on the RTV6 app.
We're going to leap into this day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great day and enjoy the sunrise. Good Morning America next right here on RTV6.